ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरविषे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you. Continuation of. Unfortunately, you are able to continue with me. So, take forgiveness at the beginning of this. But this is how you will become more tolerant in Brahmacharya Ashram. Let us continue our discussion about Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is a very glorious book. Which Goswami here is mentioned. But I offer prayers to Sridhar Goswami. Why? Because Sri Rupa compiled this remarkable work. Ji Goswami said, who has seen him compiling, right? Assisted him by writing this book. So, obsessed by the desire to benefit all devotees of the Lord, the esteemed author. Yes. हाँ नहीं उसमें नहीं है मतलब जब दिखाऊंगा तो करूंगा अभी जो बोल रहा हूँ उसमें नहीं obsessed by desire to benefit all devotees of the Lord, the esteemed author Srila Rupa compiled this remarkable work. The scripture called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, using the rasas presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, which appeared within his lotus third of his heart. So that's what actually, and it seems it took 17 years for him to compile this. 17 to 34, that's what Gauranga says. He spent so much of time for compiling this book. So we spent some time for understanding the book, its worth. So, 17 to 1534. So 17 years, like that Gauranga quoted in one of the annual speeches. They established the foundational principles of Siddhanta before establishing something external, these temples. That's what was told to me. We have done that, no, externally. Jiva Goswami did, but that he did after the establishment of Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, which is millions of ocean deep. That's what was done. This is a foundational book in that. It's appreciated by all other sampradayas. So I'm grateful to all of you that you have given me some opportunity to study this book. Yes. They accept it, appreciate it, because they are all inclusive. Their practice is included in this. That's the glory of Rupa Goswami and his definition of pure devotion. How it is all inclusive, but all exclusive also at the same time. So that's the glory of reconciliation. That's what Mahaprabhu could do, that appreciate everyone, but know what is being presented by Gaudiya and His. So doing these two things simultaneously is called Samanvaya. Only Gaudiya Vaishnavas are able to do it. They can appreciate in their commentaries, other acharyas, even Mayavadis are quoted by Vishwanath. And quoted means how much respect they are giving. Quoted. This is their heart. There is no tinge of any decision. Vindali Shundar Hridaya. So such acharyas have written such deep books. Jiva Goswami, who was assisting, he has written commenting, and then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is said to be the Amsha of Goswami. He has written commentary, and then after that, the most special for all of us is Srila Prabhupada, who wrote this in 1970. So, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to study this book along with all of you. I have no qualification to present anything on this, but they are just trying to share something. No question? No, I don't have that. Yes. This provision goes for it is there in folio. For Vishwanath Thakur, it is there. Because Sundar who spoke, I asked him, and then he said it is there in folio. And then I checked it. It was there many years ago. But for Baldev Vidyabhushan, it is not there. Baldev Vidyabhushan is considered as Jiva Goswami's Tattwacharya, Rasacharya, Tattwacharya. Yeah, like that rasa aspect which was empowered. So why he wrote this book for explaining rasa concept. That was empowered to even Vishwanath Chakravarti. That's how his commentary of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, you can find so much of that. They are different, they are independent entities, but he is carrying the like that again. I'll find out because Sundar Prabhu showed me that for Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami and Vishwanath. Like, so let us continue. So we have completed 3 chapters, 16 hours. So it's quite less in one sense. Trying to give the break. So just to be, I will decide based on all of you. because break is required, and when it is required, you can at least. Now you want to say anything? What then you can say? Huh? So be honest. If anyone wants break, express yourself. No problem. Serving all of you. So just to recapitulate, so now we have around 13, 19 chapters. So we have around 16 more chapters. Yes, yes. किसी को भी सही नहीं लगता. But still, there should be some. See, the material world means there will be some kind of timeline has to be there. Some kind of. How much you can tolerate, I don't know. But let us see. Let us see. Thank you for your encouragement. It's encouraging. Thank you. Good at the beginning. So audio is clear now for them. So we have completed 3 chapters. Fourth chapter we are beginning today. Just to recapitulate the facts what we have studied till now. So chapter second defined actually 3 types of bhakti, and then definition of sadhana bhakti also. Sadhana bhava. Sadhana bhakti was defined iti sadhya bhavet sadhya ityadi. That the aspiration to attain sadhya bhava under acceptance of spiritual masters. One does actions through his body, mind, and words is called sadhana bhakti. Not that any practice. These all 3 things have to be there. There is a right aspiration, there is right acceptance, and there is right action. Then it becomes sadhana bhakti. That's what is the essence of Kriti Sadhya Bhavet Sadhya Bhava. That Bhavet Sadhya Bhava is depicting Anna Vilashita Shunya. If the aspiration is weak or not there, means Anna Vilasha is there. That's what Jiva Goswami says. You start something with the aspiration in your heart, what you are doing something. So that's what was defined, and then it was told that there are 2 types: Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Bhagavad Sadhana. So what they were also defined, not they, but Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti was defined. There is Raga Anaptatvat, when there is no spontaneity generated in the heart. When one is doing obligated service, then it is a Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti. Right? As soon as there is beginning of some spontaneity, then it is no more Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti. So there is a mixture of Raganuga in that. Right? So Raganuga Bhakti, and then because it is obligated, so there is sword and there is carrot. Right? So there are some promises which are given, which you will get by practice. And if you don't do, na bhajanti avajananti sthanat bhashta patantada. That those who will not engage in worshipping in Varna ashram, worshipping the Supreme Lord. So that verse was quoted. And the last verse was the ultimate goal, carrot is prema. That was also told. Because obligated means there should be something. Then only people will do, right? If attendance is not there, like, that's why it is there. Although person has given up everything, but still attendance system is required. Why? Because everyone is at different levels of consciousness. So these things are required, especially in institution. So they are all, 108 Mahamantras. These are all, sword and carrot. Right? So that's what is required actually. So that's what we saw. And then that's what was chapter 2. Then chapter 3 begins with adhikar. That who can practice. So then there is 3 depths of their faith, right? Or we can call it their strength of pure faith, what they have. So having pure faith is the qualification of or adhikari of bhakta, right? That's how the chapter begins. Kenapi ati bhagyena jatu asya sevane, something like that. So that is the qualification. Qualification is pure faith. Pure faith is a qualification to practice pure devotion. It can be level of Kanishtha, it can be level of Madhyama, it can be level of Uttama. But the qualification is what? Having the pure faith. The strength of pure faith may vary from Kanishtha to Uttama. So it is Komal Shraddha, it is fixed Shraddha, or it is Proud Shraddha. Right? So that all definitions we saw. And that is one qualification. What is the other qualification mentioned? Which is born from the Ati Bhagyena. What is another qualification to practice pure devotional service? In that very first verse or Prabhupada's. One qualification is receiving association of pure devotees. What is the another qualification? Prabhu, I forgot to bring water, Prabhu. If you can. I was in hurry, otherwise I would have brought. What is another qualification in that verse or Prabhupada's purport? Any remembrances? Tasmat kenapi ati bhagyena jato shraddhasya sevane na nirvinno nati sakto bhakti yogosya siddhada. Right? Something like that. So this is another qualification. What is that? Na nirvinno nati sakto. This is another qualification for practice of sadhana bhakti, but this comes by association of great souls. But if one is too much attached, then he has to practice karma. If one is too detached, he has to practice jnana. But for bhakti, he needs this qualification of na nirvinno nati sakto, but which comes by association with pure devotees. So that's what we saw. And then three kinds of adhikaris we discussed. Then three kinds of bhaktas also we discussed, and we saw that adhikar and bhakta difference is first year engineering and completion of engineering, right? Like that, engineering adhikari and engineer. So like uttama bhakta and uttama adhikari and so on. Then we saw that how the strength of pure faith is going from Kanishta, Madhyama to Uttama, and what are their characteristics, etc. Shastri, Ukti, Nupuna and Anipunaha, and both are not there in Kanishtadhikari. Then what we saw is how giving up Bhukti Mukti Spruha is very essential. Why? Because Bhukti Mukti Spruha yavat Pishachi Hridi Vartate. Tavat Bhakti Sukhasyatra Katham Adhyudayo Bhavet. There is no question of experiencing the happiness of pure devotion if one has the witches of Bhukti and Mukti. Bhukti and Mukti in itself is not Pishachi. The aspiration for it is Pishachi, or maintaining that aspiration, not doing anything about the aspiration, is Pishachi. And then one will be forced to enter into Mishra Bhakti, actually. Because na nirvinno corresponds to Mukti Ichha. Nati Sakto is corresponding to Bhukti Ichha. Okay? So, unless there is a proper introspection about this existence of these aspirations and working to overcome them, there is no question of Tavat Bhakti Sukhasyatra Katham Adhyudaya Bhavet. Like that. Water is also okay. Yeah. Normal होना. ज़्यादा नहीं अभी रहेगा तो चलेगा, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं. Next time can be. It's not so cold also. Thank you. And then the chapter went on, where today's chapter also will begin. At the end we saw that Bhakti's excellence is told by telling that devotee never desires liberation. That's how we ended the class last time in the third chapter. So that theme continues through entire fourth chapter. So what is fourth chapter title? What is the title of the fourth chapter? Yeah, devotional service surpasses all liberation. So there are so many quotations from Bhagavatam primarily and many other scriptures. Haishirsh, Parchatantra, Padma Purana, or our This now Damodar month will come, that also is quoted. Damodar Ashtakam and many other scriptures. He is quoting what he said, he is substantiating through this prayers. So very, very beautiful chapter actually to see the aspirations of coming out in their prayers in front of Lord, or may not Lord, maybe there, may not be there, but they are expressing their heart. We don't want liberation, or devotees don't want liberation. So that's what is this fourth chapter is all about. So we will try to complete this chapter maybe in half an hour, because it is more or less many prayers. So we may not go into every one of them, but maybe few of them will go and few will go through quickly. So it's very beautiful prayers. Actually, that is the, when we see that Bhagavatam is most confidential things are spoken, right? Most confidential things are there in Bhagavatam. We say na Guhya. So what is most confidential in Bhagavatam? Yes, what is most confidential in Bhagavatam? Prayers, correct. Prayers, because they are expressing the heart of a Vaishnava. So those prayers you will go through. Very sweet prayers are there. So let us begin with some. So already we saw some prayers in previous chapter. Towards the end, we saw some prayers. Whose prayers we saw in third chapter? That I don't want liberation. One prominent person, 5-year-old. Who is that? I think both are there. See, both are there. I think Dhruva Maharaj is there surely. Prahlad Maharaj also is there. Or this chapter he might be there. And some others also, right? Who else was there in the prayers? Of third chapter toward the end, if you see. Who else was there? Kapil Dev. Yeah, Kapil Dev is quoted. Who else? See and tell. Just share the screen till that time. Oh, sorry, chapter 5. Who else? Uddhava. Yeah, Uddhava is telling, Seva Anurakta. No, I just want to continue serving you. Although by worshipping you, one can attain Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. But I don't want all these things. I am just happy to serve you. That's all. So those all prayers. So same theme is going to continue in further things. Oh, fifth chapter. Sorry. So the very first prayer is very beautiful. I really appreciate this prayer of Prithu Maharaj. Where he is saying, Nakamayena tatadapyaham kvachin nayatra yushmacharanam bhujasavaha mahantamantardayan mukhachuto vidhatsvakarnayutameshamevaraha. He is saying, Nakamayenatha. I don't want that. What is that? That is spoken in the previous verse. Why you don't want that? Nayatra yushmat charanam bhujasa. There is no nectar of your lotus feet there. Okay, where it is available, that nectar of lotus feet of Krishna? Mahantam antar hridayan mukhachito. It is there in the hearts of pure devotees. And it is so much so that it comes out, overflows through their mouth. Mahantam antar hridayan mukhachito. Because it overflows. And it becomes more sweeter to hear. Because they themselves are relishing like Shukamukad Amruta Drava Samyata. Same mood, which Goswami writes. So, my dear Lord, I want to hear that, and I want how many years? Millions of years. Karana Ayutam. Ayutam is millions of years. Maybe some exact word is there. So, here mode what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the conversation actually. He says that, why you want all this? So he said, see, I told you give liberation to these fellows, impersonal. And they don't want their senses, right? Their ears and all. So that their ears you give me. Because they anyway they don't want. So their ears you can give me, so that all over the world, wherever you are glorified by pure devotee, I will sit and hear. That is his aspiration. So That's what he's saying. So here, same thing is told that I don't want that. So liberation is not decided. He doesn't even want to utter the word liberation. He's saying, I don't want that, which is aspired by them. That is his, what you can say, the valuing of liberation. He doesn't even want to utter the word also. Because there is no nectar of Lord's pastimes, Lord's names, qualities, etc. So Prabhupada writes that, and he explains that without keeping their individuality, they have no chance of hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. This is their most unfortunate situation and our most fortunate situation. Going further, Bharat Maharaja's prayer is there. So here Bharat Maharaj also says same thing, that we can all recite together. Yo dustyajangshiti suta swajanartha daran prarthyam shriyam suravarai sadavo lokyam naichandrapastaduchitam mahatam madhugdvit sevanuraktamanasam abhavopi falgu. Read the translation given by Prabhupada. Direct, you read the translation here. This part. Direct translation in quote. Here you can see.
The great soul King Bharata was so much attached to the service of the lotus feet of Krishna that he very easily gave up his lordship over the earthly planet and his affection for his children, society, friends, royal opulence, and beautiful wife. He was so very lucky that the goddess of fortune was pleased to offer him all kinds of material concessions, but he never accepted any of these material opulences.
Anyway, someone is saying something here. What is that? All devotees, okay, you have told. So Prabhuji's request is there. All devotees, online devotees can switch on their videos so that we can take your attendance, Hari Bol, and we can get their darshan also. So actually this verse, Bharat Maharaj is glorified. Actually one verse before is also very beautiful, where it is told that he gave up all these things like stool. Jahau yuvaiva malavat. So actually this analogy is very deep. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that when you give up stool, you are very happy. When it is there with you, you are very disturbed. And when you remember, you are disgusted. So that's feeling he left. It is not circumstantial, or it is not out of duty that I have to set an example. No. Uttama shloka lalasa. Jahau yuvava malavat uttama shloka lalasa. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that why he is glorified so much more than Priyavrat, because Priyavrat left at the time when he was old. But Bharat Maharaj is leaving when he was young. He had a young wife and children, and they were not creating any problem for them actually. So you can read that verse. So actually that's what the attraction is there. So these things are not there basically. It's not about giving up. It's about attracting. Vairagya has two meanings. One is trying to renounce the sense enjoyment. This is Vairagya. But that is mode of goodness. But when we say Bhakti, what is that? By Bhakti, Janayetu Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayad Ahetukam. That Vairagya is the disgust with that because of having some taste. So there is a difference. Sattva gun, giving up, renouncing the enjoyment causes hardness of heart. But having taste for something like Bharat Maharaj is having, then that thing becomes disgusting. That is also Vairagya. That is Bhakti Vairagya actually. There is no negativity about the accepting sense objects. That's what is spoken in Bhagavatam. So that's what is given here. So same thing. And here it is Shriyam Sadavalok. What is this? Sadaya Avalokam. So goddess of fortune with great compassion is looking at Bharat Maharaj. Like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that. And he is saying, my dear Bharat Maharaj, why you are going away and doing such austerity? Be here, I will serve you. With mercy, she is proposing something. He is completely Naichan. I don't want all this. Not only that, he doesn't want even Mahatam. Naichan, that Mahatam is liberation. Because Taduchitam. it is uchit for him because he is experiencing the service of the Lord. Sevanurakta manasa abhopi phalgu. So that's what is told here. Then beautiful Vitrasura's prayer. Nanakaprishtham na chaparameshtham na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhim punarbhavan va samanjasah tva virahaya kangshe. So I think all of you have heard this verse. Yes? Many of you? Yes? So what is meaning of samanjas? I don't want this. Actually, this is a very important aspect of prayer. Like yesterday, I think in class, Prabhuji was also saying that what we pray to Krishna. Or even Haldar Maharaj was saying, we pray, this year we did, we want to do more next year. Means you did. So, there is a question of dependence on Krishna. These are the words which we have to see what words are coming from our heart to pray also. There is no problem in praying that I did this much, next year I want to do this much. But there is some level of wrong understanding in that prayer. It's good prayer, not a problem, because object is correct. Your desire is good, but there is doership involved there. So it's very important to pray what you don't want also. That's what he is praying. I don't want so many things he is saying, right? So what is samanjas? So we'll see that. Naka Prishtam means what? Dhruva Maharaja's planet, where Lord Vishnu is present. I don't want that. Parameshtam, I don't want Swarga or Brahmaji's post. Sorry, Paramesht. Sarvabhaumam is what? Yeah, like Prithu Maharaj or Prachetas or whatever. No? Sarvabhaumatva of this earth. That also I do. Rasadhipatyam. I don't want ruler over lower planets like Bali and others. So this is told. Then what it is? So these are the places he is telling. I don't want these places. I don't want perfections also. Siddhis also I don't want. And the last thing he is saying is what? Last thing, apunarbhavamva. What is that? Liberation. That is the last thing he is saying. What does that mean? So, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the sequence is the lowermost is at the last, highest is at the first. So the excellence reduces as he is telling, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. So liberation is the last. Why? Because there is no opportunity to practice bhakti. Other places there is some opportunity. And what is samanjas word? Actually, when I heard this, samanjas is, my dear Lord, you are source of all opportunities. You can give anything and everything, but I don't want anything. This is samanjas. Samanjas means one who can fulfill all your opportunities and desires. Samanjas. But I don't want. Why? I am in separation from. Tva virahaya kangsha. So it's very important. Acharyas also tell us, there is so nice song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where he says first, na. Which song is that? Some 4 or 5 stanzas of no. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Then he says, I want this. Which is that song? Yes. Yeah, that is very nice. You are bringing out another place where Mahaprabhu is also showing us, first telling what I don't want. And lastly he is telling I want something. Nahi magi deha sukha vidyadhana jana. Nahi magi swarga moksha nahi magi. Na kori ho prarthana kono vibhuti ralagi. Not just this, he goes further also. And then he tells what he wants. Right? Ye Bhaktivinoda Thakur ka hai. How it starts? What is the starting? Prabhu tava pada yuge mora nivedana. Actually, this verse is explaining this 4th verse of Shikshashtakam. That's what Bhakti Prem Maharaj was explaining. In his explanations here, for each stanza of Shikshashtaka, the emotions are clearly told in the prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So that's what, it's very essential to tell Lord what he doesn't want. So Lord becomes very clear that what he wants, what he doesn't want. Very important. That's what Vitrasu. So these all prayers are here. Why Rupa Goswami is putting all these prayers? It's not commenting anything. If you see, originally he's just putting prayers after prayer. That's all. Because it is diving into the hearts of these pure devotees who are not desiring liberation, what to speak of material happiness. So by associating with them, thinking about them, their feelings, it helps us to get inspired. Because in Bhakti, the most important thing is inspiration. Institution can do something, but inspiration is very individual. And inspiration is very necessary to progress. Otherwise, it's all, everyone does everything. Right? From Adav Shraddha to Bhava Prema, the practices are same. Right? So, inspiration. So, these are, Rupa Goswami is awarding. See, Rupa Goswami is giving the 64 limbs after the 5 chapters. 6th chapter to 14th chapter. He is telling 64 Angas. But before that, why he is telling all these things? From chapter number 1 to 5. So he is telling about what is there in Prayojan, what people who have attended Prayojan thinking, what is their experience, how to reach that experience. This is all is being told here, right? Or in other words, he is telling why to do 64. With what understanding we should do 64. With what aspirations we should do 64. He is telling before in these 5 chapters. Then he is listing. Okay, so that's the purpose of these prayers actually. Very, very beautiful prayers. Yeah, so read this Jiva Goswami's comment. I think I said already, but both you can read. Prabhupada's comment also was there in other day Bhagavatam class. That also is quoted. Yeah, please read that, green.
In Bhagavatam.
This is Jiva Goswami. Yeah. No, green.
No. The desirable places, Dhruva Loka, Brahmalok, Swarga, Earthly Kingdom, lower planets ruling, and Yoga Siddhi, and then liberation. Sequence indicate greater value of preceding place.
Yeah. So sequence indicates greater value of the preceding place. So highest is Dhruva Loka. The second quotation which Prabhupada gave on the previous Bhagavatam class. Yes, today we heard one, and one last week there was beautiful statement. Prabhupada is explaining the verse Trinadapi Sunichena, what it means and all. And then at the end he is speaking this. Yeah, read. This is 4.9 lecture. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha. On that verse he is speaking. How understanding Krishna is important. That, yeah, read that.
Srila Prabhupada's purport explain meanings of Trunadapi verse. That means, in the other word, I completely refuse to become anything of this material world.
I refuse to become anything of this world. That is the meaning of the whole Trinadapi verse. And then what he said, see, if someone comes and respects you as a Lord and someone disrespects, how does it matter? It doesn't matter. Because you are not his body, you are spirit soul. I don't want anything of this world. That is the understanding of that verse, according to Prabhupada. That's how the next verse is telling that only. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. So the aspirations are told. Nothing. I don't want anything of this world. That's what is reflected. So Rudra is praying. So Rudra is telling this verse. This is also famous verse. Many of you know it. Narayana para sarve na kutaschana bibhyati swarga pavarga narakeshu api tulyartha darshanam. So whom Rudra is telling this verse to? Parvati. And whom he is glorifying? Yeah, Chitraketu. He is glorifying Chitraketu. My dear Parvati, you are beautiful, but Chitraketu is more beautiful than you because of his pure devotion. He is Narayana para, most rare. Tulyartha darshina. Means what? What Jiva Goswami says? Devotees have the quality of seeing and experiencing everything other than Narayan as equally worthless. Equally worthless. Tulyartha darshanam. Anything other than Narayana is equally worthless. It can be this, it can be this. It's all worthless one. Like that. Then Indra is praying, Indra Prabhu. We have been discussing about last 2 days. Indra also, what are his aspiration? So in his prayers, this is after Vitrasura section, 6:1874. So he is praying in front of Lord. Actually, all the demigods have gone to, they are offering prayers to Lord, and that time they are glorifying Bhakti. Like this. That, yeah, read the translation. Indra, okay, Indra addresses Diti.
Indra addresses.
Yeah. So this is not what I said. It is coming in the next verse. This is different context. Indra is telling Diti. When Indra is telling Diti? पेट में जो मारा, first abortion or attempts of abortion. Yeah, that time. There was khichatani between both of them. Right? That is sign of mixed devotion. So both are them are having khichatani. She wants to kill him. He wants to kill the womb. So that's what is happening in among the Mishra devotees. So there Indra is speaking this verse. Yeah, read the translation, my dear mother.
My dear mother, persons who have given up all kinds of desire and are simply engaged in the devotional service to the Lord know what actually their self-interest. Such a persons are actually serving their self-interest and are considered first-class expert in the matter of advancing to the perfectionist stage of life.
So actually, Indra Prabhu knows what is the highest desire. So that's why he's saying, na, Swartha Kushala. Your devotees are exactly knowing the Swartha. They don't want Param. This Param is nothing but liberation. They don't want also that. Nechanti api Param. That's why it is quoted here. Then Prahlad Maharaj is quoted. Then Indra again. This is the Indra which the context I said. This is after 7.8, mostly that only. Shakrotkav 7.8. Yeah. This is Indra expressing to Narsinghdev, not Vitrasur. When Narsinghdev appeared and he did the operation, then so many prayers come before 7th canto 8th chapter. So many of them, Siddha, Charana, Indra, and so many demigods, they all pray. One of the prayer is told here of Indra. So please read. So here you can understand what is Indra's happiness and what he understands about pure devotees. Both things are given here. Yeah, please read the.
O Supreme One.
Oh, Supreme One, yeah.
O Supreme One, these demons took our share of participation in the performance of ritualistic sacrifice. But simply by your appearance as Lord Nrsimhadev, you have saved us from terrible fear. Actually, our share in the sacrificial performance are due to you only, because you are the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifice. You are the super soul of every living entity, and therefore you are the actual owner of everything. Long were our heart always filled with fear of demon, Hiranyakasipu. But you are so kind towards us that by killing him, you have removed that fear from within our hearts and have given us the chance to place you, Lordship, within our heart again. For persons who are engaged in transcendental loving service of Lordship, all opulence which you are taken away from us by the demons are counted as nothing. Devotees do not care for even liberation, but to speak of these material opulences. Actually, we are not enjoyer of the fruits of sacrifice. Our only duty is to always be engaged in your service, for you are the enjoyer of everything.
Yeah. So in this prayer, you can see the first part, he is expressing his apparently his happiness that okay, we are not getting shares, now we started getting shares. Actually, they belong to you, but that's what. Thank you, Haribo. That's what, that much. But later part of his prayer is telling what about pure devotees. What I am desiring also is not desired by this pure devotee. So that's why it is quoted here, which is depicting Indra's heart. in both sides. He knows what is pure devotion, what the pure devotees aspire for. At the same time, he is honest and he is expressing his happiness that thank you very much. Our shares have come. And that's what, if you see the prayers in 7.8, you will see that mood in each and every one prayer. The sages are praying. They are saying that okay, this fellow came and took our thing. Now you have come, we got our thing back. Hari bol, thank you very much. That's what is their prayer. But the real prayer of pure devotion is coming in the next chapter, that is Prahlad Maharaj. So that is the heart of a pure devotee. So Prabhupada says here how Indra is teaching us that by giving enjoyment to Krishna, a living entity also can enjoy automatically. That's what he says. By doing so, they automatically enjoy the benefit. So, knowing Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, devotee by serving him, he enjoys by being enjoyed by Krishna. Not that he doesn't have enjoyment. He has proper enjoyment in terms of giving enjoyment to Krishna. And Krishna wants to give enjoyment to his devotee. He wants to share his opulences with devotees. That's what. He cannot relish the opulences without sharing it. That's what prayer will come ahead. It's a beautiful prayer of Gajendra. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti ye vai bhagavat prapannaha atyadbhutam taccharitam sumangalam gayant ananda samudramagnaha. So this word is coming here, ekantino. Ekanta bhakti or kevala bhakti is ekantino. So these ekantino people have na kanchanartham. They don't vanchati. They don't aspire for anything. Why? Because they have wealth of surrender. Ye vai bhagavat prapannaha. And what they relish? They just relish discussing about you, your glories and your character among each other. So they don't desire anything else because they are diving into the ocean of bliss by discussing about your Nam Roop Gun Lila. That's what is told here. So this is the prayer which I was saying, that Lord is speaking to Durvas Muni here. Matsevaya pratitam te salokyadi chatushtayam nechanti sevaya purna koto anyat kala viplutam. So my dear, who is that? Who is there in front of Lord? Durvas Muni. Yeah, Durvas Muni, see, they have, by serving me, they can attain this Salokyadi Chatushtaya. Pratitam means they can attain. Mat Sevaya Pratitam. They can attain these 4 kinds of liberation, or 5. But Nechanti, Sevaya Purna, because they are happy in serving me. What to speak of that pleasure which is destroyed by time? Kutonyat Kala Viplutam. That is that. Kaimutyanai. What to speak of? If they don't desire spiritual pleasure, what to speak of material pleasure? So this point will come towards the end of chapter, which is very important. Now we'll go quickly through repenning. Kaliya Patni, similar prayer, Nanaka Prishtham, same. So this comes 3 times in Bhagavatam, 2 times by devotees, 1 time by the Supreme Lord. So here another devotees are whom? First was Vitrasur. Similar prayer. Same prayer asked by Nagapatnis also. And similar prayer comes by Supreme Lord in 11 canto. This is Shruti's prayer, which is very, very amazing prayer, but you can read on your leisure. Just one thing, this part you can read. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur purport. Shiva Prabhu had quoted this purport. Very beautiful. This is a prayer offered by Shrutis to Krishna. This is one of the most difficult chapters of Krishna book. Ocean of prayers of Vedas. So this is the prayer. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, you can read this, those rare devotees.
Those rare devotee Ketchit who become tired by diving into and rising up repeatedly in these whirlpools and waves do not desire even the pleasure of liberation.
So these whirlpools of waves are in what? In the pastimes, names, qualities of the Lord. Better ocean.
Apavargam. But to speak of happiness of earth, dharma and kama, the fatigue of diving in and rising out of wave of nectar is actually happiness.
Actually, there is fatigue to dive and come out, to dive and come out. There is a fatigue, but it is happiness. So he gives a very nice analogy. Please read.
Just as young materialistic person who cannot tolerate labor consider the fatigue from sex life as the highest pleasure of all, so your devotee consider as the highest pleasure in the fatigue with symptom of singing and dancing and shouting and stumbling and fainting, getting up and crying and running around, which arise from drinking the sweetness of narration of your pastimes. And consider the happiness of Brahman like a happiness of animals chewing grass.
My Lord, how Brahman happiness is compared with such a amazing thing, and materialistic happiness is compared with the fatigue here. So this is all, this is how acharyas glorify actually what they are experiencing. So it is there, but as we read earlier also, the attention of a pure devotee is in glorifying Krishna, Kirtaniya Sadahari. That is his pleasure. His pleasure is not anything external. His pleasure is Shravanam and Kirtanam about the glories of the Supreme Lord and his devotees. That's how he is dancing, he is stumbling, shouting, dancing, singing. All these things are what? Drinking the narrations of the Lord's past. So that is all throughout the same message actually. So holy name and holy fame. These two things are the source of happiness for a devotee for himself. It is not to show off to anyone. It is his genuine happiness comes from that. That's why he does. Although it is fatigue. It's a fatigue to dive deep, come out. That's what Vishwanath is saying. Because Krishna's pastimes, to actually understand, it's very difficult. The most difficult thing to understand the creation is Krishna's interactions. And most difficult is Krishna's interaction with Vrajvasis. So fatigue is there to understand it, but that fatigue is very pleasurable fatigue. That's what is spoken here by. So Shrutis are praying like that. So Lord also says in 11th canto, as I told you, same 11th canto, similar verse is there. Na parameshtan, na mahendra dishnam. My devotee never desires all these things. So similar. Then Rudra also says, this is 12th canto, Rudra is speaking to, in 12th canto he speaks to Markandeya. He glorifies Markandeya. You are like that because Markandeya is in meditation. See, many times in Bhagavatam, problem comes when someone is meditation and someone comes. This is all problem in Bhagavatam. Big stories began like that, Indradumna Maharaj, Indradumna Maharaj and Agastya Rishi. It was like this. But Parikshit and Shaunak Rishi. And there are other. But here, there is no problem happening. But Shiva is there, Markandeya is there. Markandeya is in meditation. Shiva goes into that meditation and wakes him up. That, oh, we have come. You are absorbed in Krishna. So he is glorifying him. Very beautiful verse. Same meaning. Nechanti ashisha kwapi brahmarshe moksham apyuta. No desire. Padma Purani. So this is our famous. So Varam deva moksham na mokshavadhin va nachanyam vrineham vareshadapiha idam teva purnatha gopala balam Sadame manasya virastam kimanyai. He quotes another verse, so all of you know the meaning, we will not go. Prabhupada, with great pleasure, he is explaining the pastime also here, because he is writing a summary study. So he writes a pastime also. Then another verse also, where it is mentioned, I don't want liberation. So, na moksha graho mesti damodare. That's why, just as you delivered Kuberas, they were also so lusty. You gave them prem bhakti, please give me also. I don't want moksha. Very clearly. I want prem bhakti, I don't want moksha. Like that he is telling. So Prabhupada explains more pastime, the story behind this. Yeah, so this Hayashirsha Pancharatra. So theme is the same, so I am not going into details of it. Here only one point to mention is that Prahlad Maharaj is glorifying Hanumanji. As you know, see, Hanuman also never desired any material benediction. So Prahlad Maharaj himself is like that, but he is glorifying Hanuman. So that is the heart of a pure devotee. Yudhishthir Maharaj is seeing Prahlad Maharaj greater than him. Right? Parikshit Maharaj is seeing Vrishabdev and his family to be greater than him, although they are very great souls. So that is the heart of a Prahlad Maharaj here. He feels that Hanuman is better. I think Brihad Bhagavatamrita same thing comes. No? Prahlad sends him to Hanuman or Hanuman only, na? Yeah. So similar context here also. I am not good. Hanuman is good because he is engaged. I was just remembering Krishna. I was not engaged in service. Yes? Hanuman says Arjun is good and like that. So, that is the heart of Prahlad Maharaj. He genuinely feels that I am not engaged in service of Lord. Similar verses, so we will go ahead. Now we will go to the last. Yeah, read this. Verses from, yeah, read.
Jeev Goswami link verses from 26 to 52 where proofs of verse 25 which says Shri Krishna Charambhuja Seva Nirvitta Chetasam Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.25 Devotees never desire liberation. Now in second verses 50,
Now in two verses.
now in two verses 53 to 54 the intention is to describe the efforts of such devotees to offer service to the Lord.
Yeah, so what Jiva Goswami is saying, that previous so many verses, almost 26 verses, were telling about how devotee doesn't desire liberation. Now two verses are telling their endeavor for service. So he quotes Kunti Maharani's prayers and the famous verse which is Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Api Urukrame Kurvanti Ahetukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Gunohar. So such Atma Ramas also want to engage in devotional service, in pure devotional service, right? Ahetukim Bhaktim. Such is the Supreme Lord's qualities. So there is endeavor and intention to do render service also, not just not desiring liberation, but they want to engage themselves in service of Lord. So he quotes those two verses. So Kunti Maharani is also there. So going further now, very important aspect comes now about desire of liberation, right? So now Jiva Goswami and Radha Rupa Goswami is telling what is the purity of desire of Raj Bhakti is and what are the impurities are in that very clearly. Because there are so many kinds of muktis, right? But what is the aspiration of a devotee? So based on that he is telling. So atra त्यजया अवोक्ता मुक्ति पंच विधि विधा अपि चेत सालोक्यादि तथापि अत्र भक्त्या न अतिविरुध्यते. So what is meaning of it is that these muktis which are not accepted by devotees, because means only when there is service they will be accepting that. Because there is not much opposition. Na ati viruddhyate means what? There is not too much opposing, right? Means what? There is something opposing. Not ati viruddhyate. What is that something opposing is told in the next verse, right? So Prabhupada also writes that devotee is not after any of the stages of liberation. These five, no, they give it up. We know that verse. Salok. What is that? Diyamanam na grandhanti. So Prabhupada quotes that only. That's the first line meaning. But why? Because na ati varodhyate means there is some there is something which is improper in that. So what is that? Jiva Goswami says means they are accomplished with some unfavorable attitude. What is there? Because unfavorable attitude creates mixture. Anna vilashita shunyam won't be there. So what is that desire? If someone is, so there are two types of such na ativruddhate people. So that is explained in the next verse that we will read. So what is this unfavorable attitude means is given in the next verse. two varieties of four kinds of mukti. Sukha Aishwaryottara yam prema sevottarepi salokyadir dvidha tatra nadya sevajusham mata. So he is saying the opposing elements are Sukha Aishwarya Uttara and Prema Seva Uttara. Means what? A devotee is desiring to attain the same opulences of Lord, same body of Lord, or nearness to Lord, or whatever, four are there. That is main desire. Seva desire is secondary. That is Sukha Aishwarya Uttara. He wants that happiness. He wants, it's about the Lord. It's in connection with Lord, in place of Lord, but there is desire what he wants. So that is one category, that is called Sukha Aishwarya Uttara. There is second one which is better than that is Prema Seva Uttara, means predominant by Prem Seva, but he wants little Sukha Aishwarya also. Uttara means what? Predominant. So these two are the Viruddhyate attitudes, because there is some personal desire involved, either in predominance, Sukha Aishwarya Uttara, or lesser quantity in Prema Seva Uttara, but it is there. So Seva Jusham Mata means those who are desiring the joy of service, they don't desire the first one. Adya means first one means Sukha Aishwarya Uttara. They don't desire that. Second one they desire. Those who Seva Jusham Mata, those who want to serve the joy of service of the Lord. So they don't want this first, right? But what about Ekanta Bhaktas? But Ekanta Bhaktas do not even accept those five in these two. Nothing. They don't want. Even second type they don't want. As a little desire for Sukha Aishwarya is indicated in Prema Seva Uttara. There is little desire is there of self. Kintu Premaika Madhurya Jusha Ekantino Harau Naiva Angi Kurvate Jatu Muktim Panchavidham api. They don't even desire this Premottar Seva also. Those who are Ekanta Bhaktas. So this is the purity of practice, which is told by Rupa Goswami. And it doesn't just end here. After establishing this fact of Ekanta Bhakti, he goes to Vrindavan Bhakti is highest in this Ekanta Bhakti also. So that is the next verse. Tatrapi Ekantinam Shrestha Govinda Hritamanasa. Among Ekantas, the Shreshthas are Govinda Hritamanasa. Those whose hearts are stolen by Govinda. Govinda means a person who is, when Govinda name was given to Krishna, in what age? Yes, so that is the age of his Madhurya pastimes. So Govinda Rita Manasa here means gopis. They are the highest. That's what is being indicated here. Yesham Shrisha Prasadopi Mano Hartum Na Shaknuyat. Such people whose heart is stolen by Govinda, even if Narayan becomes merciful to them, it doesn't touch their heart. Shrisha Prasadopi Mana Hartum Na Shaknuyat. That's what gopis will do. Lord came, Lord manifested Narayan form, they offered obeisances and they offered respects and they asked, oh, where is Krishna? So it doesn't affect. They saw the beauty of Lord Narayan, which was manifested by Krishna only. But, thank you very much, where is Krishna? So it doesn't affect them. That's what, na shaknuyat. Hartum, mano hartum, already stolen, how it can be stolen by someone else? It cannot be possible. So that's what is told here. So Prabhupada also writes very amazing things here. You can read those who are highlighted here about the same things which we discussed. See, first Prabhupada is writing the other four liberations. You please read the other four liberations.
The other four liberations, although not desired by devotees, still are not against the devotional ideals.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is giving hint. He is not fully writing Ati Viruddhate, but he is giving hint that they are not against the devotional ideals.
Means there is not that they are fully devotional ideal also. You understand the meaning? So, which is from Jiva Goswami only. So, Prabhupada is also writing the same thing. And then what is, see, whatever is explained, now Prabhupada, we see how Prabhupada is writing all these things. And something additional, very beautiful Prabhupada is writing. Read this in other words.
In other words, those who are already promoted to the Vaikuntha planets and who possesses the four kinds of liberation may also sometimes develop affection for Krishna and become promoted to Krishna Lok. So, those who are in the four liberated states may still be going through different stages of existence. In the beginning, they may want the opulence of Krishna, but at the mature stage, the dormant love of Krishna exhibited in the Vrindavan becomes prominent in their hearts.
So he is telling all the stages which Jiva Goswami told in one line. Sukhaishwarya Uttara, where desiring opulences of Lord, but by association or by some inconceivable, they grow in their attraction and come to the attraction of Krishna. That's what Prabhupada is writing. May still go, even liberated states. Liberated states. Just as Baladev Vidyabhushan got attracted. Right? Shrisha Prasadopi. But when he met Radha, Damodar Goswami, right? What is the name of Radha? Damodar Goswami, who was disciple of Rasikananda, he got attracted. Then his earlier Shiva Vaishnava sannyas, he just got attracted here. One liberated people get attracted. Shukdev Goswami got attracted. Four Kumaras got attracted. Right? Like that. So that's what is told. Because it is the highest. So when Prabhupada writes, he writes in a very unique way. What is given by the Acharyas. Yeah, please read.
Out of many kinds of devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one who is attracted to the original form of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan is considered to be the foremost, first-class devotee. Such a devotee is never attracted by the opulences of Vaikuntha or even of Dwarka, the royal city where Krishna ruled.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is telling not just Vaikuntha, even Dwarka. Shrisha Prasadopi can mean even Dwarka Krishna also with Rukmini. Why it is like that? That is told in this verse. We'll end Prabhu, this and this. So the reason is given by Rupa Goswami. The reason of this attraction, Siddhantasto Abhividepi, Shrisha Krishna Swarupayoho. According to Tattva of Siddhanta, there is no difference between Shrisha and Krishna. But Rasenotkarshante Krishna Rupam Esha Rasasthiti. But when you come to Rasa, then Krishna becomes the highest. So he gives the reason that the conclusion of Srila Rupa Goswami is that the devotees who are attracted by the pastimes of Lord in Gokul or Vrindavan are the topmost devotees. So Govinda, so Prabhupada is quoting that Govinda, and actually it is Gopis. Govinda Ritamanasam is Gopis. So big purport, maybe around 8 pages purport of both Acharyas is there on this verse, establishing the fact of how the queens, the 1600 queens also, not 1600, 16,000 queens also aspired for Vraj Bhakti and they attained it. Whereas the 8 queens didn't attain because they didn't get attracted to it. 1600 queens heard from Uddhava about Vrindavan Krishna in Vrindavan. So they developed attraction and they attained. Whereas the 8 queens were satisfied in their exchanges with Krishna in Dwaraka. And they are eternal Shaktis of Lord also. Whereas the 16,000 are not like that. They are Devakanyas and here and there. But when they heard, they got attracted, they aspired, they attained. That's what is actually the whole purport, big purport is given here by the Acharyas. A devotee who is attached to a particular form of the Lord does not wish to redirect his devotion to other forms. So now Prabhupada is telling something very unique here, telling that even person who is attracted to Ramachandra, like we have example in Chaitanya Charitamrita, who is that? Murari Gupta and Anupam. So they are also glorious, that's what he said. And they don't want to change for any of the cost. Although they want to follow and please Mahaprabhu, they tried it. But he says, my heart is going to Raghunath only. So Lord glorifies them for that. That is due to specific attraction for a particular devotee. There are many, many forms of the Lord, but Krishna is still the original form. So like that, Prabhupada ends his purport. It's a very unique summary point Prabhupada has given, which is not mentioned by any of the Acharya. But Prabhupada is special commenting here that it depends on the specific attraction is there, then that remains eternally for that devotee. So this is how this chapter ends. So yes, so we'll begin with the next chapter. Before that, if anyone has any comment, question, clarification or discussion, you can have for 5 minutes maybe. Yes, Prabhu.
I have two questions. So first question is like just now we read that Krishna in Rasa he is the supreme.
Yes.
And we were discussing NOD is inclusive. So all other sampradaya will get unhappy when we say Krishna is a supreme in Rasa and Sri Ram or maybe Vishnu is
Yes.
in one sense.
Yeah, this verse may displease them little bit.
Yeah.
That's why he is specifying them by saying that Siddhanta api Shrisha Krishna, no difference, no? So they is specifying them also. Actually, this is how mature devotee tells the truth. He is specifying them. The last verse is specifying them. Did you get what I say? He is telling Rasatva is highest, but is coming Siddha. When it comes to Siddhanta, actually, Shrisha Krishna, there is no bhed.
Siddhant means tattva. Siddhants mean tattva. Siddhant wise they are same. Rasa is Raso Vaisaha. Krishna is the top.
So then they are happy. Maybe some kind of, I don't know their emotions, but at least I can say what Rupa Goswami is writing. Because he is writing the truth here. He is telling the highest on Rasa level, he is telling Siddhanta level it's same. Because it's the same person. The personality is same only. Actually, in truth that is same only. Truth that is same. So it will not displease them hopefully. That's why they appreciate, right?
And so the second question is like na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam jagadishkam mama janmani janvishmare bhavata.
Mahaprabhu is praying like that, yes.
I don't want anything. And after that, after the offenses we read, every devotee who wants to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prem. And we have come into Krishna consciousness basically two ways. We were attracted, we were searching something, and on the other side, as Prabhupada was preaching, that material world is full of misery, and that's why we want to go back to Godhead. So
some relief, some happiness, some seeking, different people have come differently.
Yeah. So to achieve prema, we are having a desire, na? To get that Krishna prem. We have understood that is the highest.
That is also selfish.
That's what selfish, na? So how to see that? हम प्रेम उसकी बात कर रहे हैं, but it's selfish until unless we are.
Follow Mahaprabhu is saying, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahe Tukito. Right? So we follow Mahaprabhu. So there is no selfishness in that.
Then the 4-5 kinds of muktis are also same in that sense. Then
no, that's what I am saying. The selfishness is there in you wanting something for yourself. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. So who is saying this?
Prahlad Maharaj.
He is saying that people don't know self-interest. So what is that self-interest? That is right, self-interest is not a problem.
Then this 5 liberation should not be, at least this 4 liberation should not be problem, no? Then they should also be considered.
Yeah, so in that, what is mixture is told by Rupa Goswami, that Sukha, that Aishwarya you want, whereas Mahaprabhu is telling that what is the last verse? Only that only is good, but last verse is what? So there is a difference in these two. Do you see some difference here? There is no selfishness on a spiritual level. See, selfishness is one thing, selfish on material level, selfish on mental level. See, there are different platforms of selfishness. When it comes to spiritual selfishness, there is no material impurity. That's why pure unalloyed devotion and pure devotion are different. Unalloyed is Vrindavan Vasis, highest of Gopis. So, They don't have any, they are ready to go to hell for rest of eternity. That is their selflessness. And if someone is aspiring that mood to serve Krishna, where is the selfishness? Are you ready to go 1 lakh times to hell?
No.
No, I also don't. But that's what Mahaprabhu has come to give. So where is the selfishness there? But why you are saying, generally you say, I want prema, What I want prema? This statement is wrong. Actually, that's why I feel when we say that in the morning, I don't say like that. What we say, which you quoted, one who, what is that?
Every devotee wants.
Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava, that is one thing, no one claims actually. Claims to be a Vaishnava. What is that I have? Should be careful to avoid offenses.
To avoid,
In
to
order
achieve
to
the,
achieve
the desired success.
Desired success,
Desired-
Krishna
desired-
prema.
desired
So I
success.
don't say like that. See, why I am not telling that, see, this is Prabhupada must have told this.
Yeah.
But we are trying to understand the depth of selflessness.
Yeah.
So there is no question of achievement. It's avoidance. So even if you desire prema, you cannot get.
Yes.
It's not a something to be, I attained, I got. No. It's completely, that's what you studied in Bhavana, that Krishna doesn't give it. It is difficult because of 2 reasons. You read in 2nd chapter, right?
Yeah.
So it is awarded by Krishna. So when the devotee is eager for that, then it is awarded. So there is no question of, even if selfishness is there, Krishna will not give. When you are saying that I want prema, if that is there in the heart, then Krishna will not give till that time. You understand that I cannot achieve. It's completely mercy thing. There is no question of I will. Completely on the level of wanting to receive it, aspiring for it. That's the only thing. That's why, so I kind of said both sides. So even if it is there, then Krishna won't give, because there has to be intensity. If you read the 2nd chapter, it is so alarming. When I read that, Bhava Bhakti is because of Sudurlabha, because of two ways. See, sadhana bhakti can be given to anyone, everyone. But when it comes to goal of sadhya bhakti, that is Bhava Bhakti, is extremely rare to be given. Because Krishna doesn't give it unless that intensity is attained. So that intensity is of the qualities of Sharanagati and what is that, Karpanya, and that is there. I think this is there in Bhagavatamrit when Uddhava, Narada and Gopakumar are on the verge of Vrindavan. So there the Dainya is defined. Dainya is defined on the outskirts of Vrindavan. That there is one Dainya which is practiced, and there is one Dainya which is result of a real pure unalloyed devotion. So intelligent person practices that Dainya to enter into Golok. So that quality is required, and that is all about depending on receiving. There is nothing called I want, I desire, nothing like that. Does that make some sense?
Guruji, but I've understood that this 5 kind of liberation can be achieved by I-ness. Vaidhi Bhakti se we can achieve it. But
Even Mishra Bhakti you can achieve Salukya.
yeah, but for this prema we are talking about, so that is bestowed. So you are selfish or not selfish, it is totally on the mercy. There is no I in it. It has to be bestowed. You may desire
I
it.
is there, aspiration is there, but it will go away if he really wants, because he will understand what is the mood of people who really want it. It is not avoided, or it is not given so easily. Even if one has that, it's not a problem that I want to attain prema. It's a very good desire. But let us see how to attain it through Rupa Goswami and their literatures. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti, then only it is possible. By reading the literatures given by the Goswamis, we can understand what we are What, where we have ended up, like, what Gorangu gives that example that we are searching something, as you said, that we are searching something and we ended up in a diamond shop. You have heard that analogy? Like, somehow, so we have come here but what Mahaprabhu is giving, that value we don't know. We may aspire for diamond, but then what is the cost of it? When one gets it, all these things have to be understood. Wanting it's not a problem. Wanting, I want diamond, no problem, you can want it. I heard Devamrit Maharaj saying that actually renunciate or brahmacharis are the greatest sense gratifiers because they want the highest sense gratification of Krishna consciousness. So you can look in that direction also. It's not a problem. But when it comes to reality, this is the reality that it is avoided. How is avoided?
Prabhuji, one more question. Like we have this terminology liberation. उसमें 5 liberation आते हैं. प्रेमा के लिए कोई terminology है? It's also liberation only.
Vimukti. Many places in Bhagavatam it comes. Where it comes, any verse you remember? Vimukti Dat. When Yashoda is glorified by Sukadeva Goswami, in those 4 verses after the greatest pastime of Yashoda, which was that pastime? Damodar Leela. So he's glorifying her. There this Vimukti word comes. So Vishesh Mukti, that is Prema. That's what Acharyas tell. Because many places it comes. You can search, I don't know, you can see. So Vimukti is called contextually, it is Prema. It's Vishesh Mukti, where Lord gives intimacy of his, because it's also, technically it's also Mukti, right? Yeah. There is no rebirth and like that. So, but it's not just Mukti, it is Vimukti. Okay? We may say the verses some other time. But I think this one. Prabhu has something.
Prabhuji, we discussed that even at liberated platform, and even if someone is in particular rasa or Vaikuntha, then they can change, if they desire, they can change the relationship.
That is Prabhupada's special comment in this book. Yeah.
Yeah. So regarding Murari Gupta, right? He himself endeavored, he wanted to change to Krishna Bhakti.
On request of his 2 brothers.
Yeah.
To please them, he wanted to.
So even though he desired, but then why he could not get that into relationship with Krishna, that attraction for Krishna?
Because his heart was given to Raghunath. That's what he tells them. And Mahaprabhu glorifies him also, right?
But he wants to give his heart to Krishna, no?
Yes, but that's what is the depth of that attraction. Like Prabhupada said, na, at the end, he's quoting that. So it's not necessary that, see, Krishna is all attractive, but it's not necessary that everyone will get attracted to him or has to get attracted to him. He can get attracted to Lord Ram. What's the problem? That's what Mahaprabhu is glorifying him, right? Mahaprabhu is glorifying. Mahaprabhu tried to give him. He tried, then Mahaprabhu glorified him. So how he did not get, that is not mentioned by any Acharya. I don't know if any one of you have heard anything, why he did not get. So you are coming to point that whether our background also fixed or something. Then this verse, Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Avatirana Kalau, doesn't make much sense. That long time it was not given, and now Mahaprabhu is Mahavadanyaya, and he is coming to give that Unnata Udvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Buddhikaranda. So beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think, correct? Why this verse is spoken? So there is opportunity to get attracted. Let us get attracted, that's all. So
it doesn't depend on.
Makes sense because Bhanu Maharaj only said this. This is what I heard from him directly in Chennai when a similar question was asked.
So basically,
but we don't want to go into more that subject because it goes to a very different subject where I don't want to go. I don't know. And not Acharya's writing, so I don't know. So very.
So our relationship with Krishna in future, like after perfecting the Bhakti.
Not future. Now you have given life to Krishna, Vrindavan Chandra. Why future?
So that doesn't depend on our any past or to whom we were originally attracted or whatever.
Don't worry,
All those
Prabhupada is saying, Acharyas are saying, get attracted, rest of the thing, forget it. It will happen on its own. That's what today's lecture Prabhupada was telling actually. We have to try to understand Krishna. That's the only thing we have to do, that's all. Relationship. Yeah. Yes. नहीं यहाँ भी फीलिंग आएगी ना, क्यों नहीं आएगी? नहीं, वो आएगा अभी नेक्स्ट चैप्टर्स में आएगा. सेवा साधक रूपेण सिद्ध रूपेण चात्र ही, यहाँ भी आ सकता. आप इतना राधा रानी का सेवा करके भक्तों को खिला रहे, इधर भी आ सकता है फीलिंग, क्यों नहीं आ सकता? इधर भी आ सकता. प्रोसेस फॉलो करना चाहिए, इन्होंने जो दिया हुआ है बस वो कर रहे हैं आप सब लोग. In that some discrepancy like you have to hear from me is there, but just continue. Get attracted, associate with those who are attracted, get contagious. No, it's contagious. Attraction is contagious. If Baldev Bhushan, Vidya Bhushan can get attracted, what's the problem?
Regarding Prema Seva Uttara, that what is the problem in that I did not understand? Aishwarya wala
Prema Seva Uttara means there is predominance of Prema Seva desire. But what do you mean by predominance? Means there is something else also. Okay. That something else is also showed by Srila Rupa Goswami. That Ekanta Bhaktas don't want that something else also. That's what I'm saying. Pureness and unalloyedness of Bhakti of Vrindavan is exhibited in this chapter very clearly. So it's all about what you aspire for. What you aspire for, what you are attracted to, and what you are undergoing. These all things are there, so we have to adjust all these things. Like scriptures, like Brahma, it's mentioned that Brahmaji went through all the scriptures 3 times and then concluded that, you have heard this verse? Brahmaji, this comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Where it comes? In 2nd canto, I think, yeah. Brahmaji went through the scripture 3 times and then concluded that the bhakti is the highest. So what does that mean? Actually, we read, we experience things based on what is our states. So bhakti is there, then you will perceive something from scripture. When bhakti is frustrated, then mukti desire comes. Then you perceive something in the scripture. And beyond going that you desire bhakti, then scriptures will reveal something. So it's a progressive thing of everyone's life also. The more you go in deeper in your aspirations, more things will be told. More, as Prabhu was saying, the glory of Shuddha Bhakti will come in the heart. How glorious it is. More bhukti mukti spruha yavat pishachi riddhi vartate. To that degree, it will not have the full effect of the thing. So it's all about that.
Prem Sevottara will also include the desire to serve Krishna in in spiritual world Golok.
In a particular form. I will have form like Krishna. Can you imagine?
No, going to Golok Vrindavan.
No, I am saying that this is how that desire is there. That I will have form of Lord Vishnu. I want that. How beautiful it is. But there is something there. Na? I want that form. Like the Lord. That's how Vaikuntha all are like Lord. All of them. Only Srivatsa and what is that? Kaustuba and Srivatsa. That is only difference. So they get that desire. Lord is such a merciful lover. He has created a place for everyone. But Goloka, you don't trouble me. I will create another place for you. You want body like me? This is the place, no problem. You can get it. You want opulences? Okay, I'll give all Shaktis. Samipya you want? Okay, I can. But generally these 4 things are not spoken for Goloka. Generally these 4 things are spoken about Vaikuntha. Samipya, Sarashti. But Vrindavan is home of Krishna. Everyone is having that in. To some extent, they all have intimacy, they all have these things which are as per.
One doubt was regarding that adhikaris.
Oh.
It was yesterday last.
Yes.
So can I ask now
Yes, Prabhu.
that this generally we say that Uttamadhikari means he sees everyone as devotee and sees Krishna everywhere. So does that mean that means that he is qualified to become a Uttama Bhakta? Does that mean that?
No,
That doesn't mean that he's not, he's an Uttama Bhakta.
Actually, that's why we have to see the definitions given in scripture. Uttam Adhikari is told here. What are two qualifications? Praudha Shraddha and Shastra Yuktishu Sunipuna. These two characteristics apply to Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti Uttam Adhikari. When it comes to Uttama Bhakta, that is explained in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Uttama Bhakta, not Adhikari.
That is Bhakta, yeah, given by one of the Navayogendras.
Yes.
So there many verses are spoken. So you have to see what is spoken there. No, Sarva Bhuteshu Yah Pashyet Bhagavat Atmanah. You can take that verse out. There it is not said that he sees everyone as devotee or like that. I also have heard, but I have not read anywhere like that. Because of Uttam Adhikari also sees ignorance. That's how we can become compassionate. Na? We cannot see only that. There is a question of ignorance. There is question of being merciful. How can you be compassionate? You don't see ignorance. So that's why I also have heard, but I have not read anywhere. So we have to go by the scriptures, what is written. So somewhere it might be there, surely, because many of us have heard, right? He sees everyone as devotee. But surely he will be seeing the difference also, right? It's not that he is ignorant, like a Kanishta. So when we are discussing about that, then because Kanishta is discussing, so we have to go by scripture. Because I don't know, it's a Adhikar, it's a Bhakta. So better, who is a Uttam Bhakta? Let us go to those who have spoken in Bhagavatam and understand what is Uttam Adhikari from what is written. This 11 canto you can see, there are 4 or 5 verses if I remember. This what is that? How I started? I forgot. Anyway, you can take out another one. Another one is also there. That is what is Gruhitva api indriya arthan yona dveshti na rishyati Vishnur mayam idam pashyan savai bhagavatottama. This is another verse spoken in the same section. So this is 11 canto. So now you see, so this is one. You go up. There will be another one, hopefully. Okay. So Prakruta Bhakta. So this is the first verse of Uttama Adhikari. Go down there. Down. Just now which verse we opened? That one which I quoted? So 49 you see? Read this. So we are trying to understand who is Uttam Bhakta Prabhu. So please pay attention because this is our aspiration. Yeah. Please read.
Within the material world,
इसके बाद तुरंत
within the material world,
वैष्णवों का इच्छा. यस, ये 2 वर्ष पढ़ के तुरंत ब्रेक ले लो 15 मिनट. ठीक है.
within the material world, one's material body is always subject to birth and decay. Similarly, the life air prana is harassed by hunger and thirst. The mind is always anxious, the intelligence hankers for that which cannot be obtained, and all the senses are ultimately exhausted by constant struggle in the material nature. A person who is not bewildered by the inevitable miseries of material existence and who remains aloof from them simply by remembering the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to be considered Bhagavat Pradhan, the foremost devotee of the Lord.
So this is one sentence. Go to the next verse.
One who has taken exclusive shelter of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva becomes free from fruitive activities which are based on material lust. In fact, one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is freed from even the desire to enjoy material sense gratification. Plans for enjoying sex life, social prestige, and money cannot develop within his mind. Thus, he is considered Bhagavatottama, a pure devotee of the Lord on the highest platform.
So there are no impressions of this also. Go ahead. Next verse. I think, yeah, this, yeah. Dear Mr. Yeah.
Birth in an aristocratic family and the execution of austere and pious activities certainly cause one to take pride in himself. Similarly, if one enjoys a prestigious position within society because his parents are highly respected members of the Varnashram social system, one becomes even more infatuated with himself. But if despite these excellent material qualifications, one does not feel even a tinge of pride within himself, he is to be considered the dearmost servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
I don't know how many are there like that.
That is Uttam
This
Bhakta.
is defined as Uttama Bhakta. The first one was he accepts the sense objects without na nirvinno na disakti, na dveshi na rushyati. But he sees Vishnu Maya Midam Pashyan Savai Bhagavatottama. So like that Shuddha Bhakta is defined at different places. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also it will come. So we can see that and understand what it is. That is one thing. And one thing I want to share, because you said about seeing. So when Putana entered Vrindavan, how did Yashoda and Rohini saw towards Putana? When she was caressing Krishna, how did they see? What they spoke? Huh? Yes. कृष्णा को आशीर्वाद देने के लिए आई
They are
है,
serving better
सही है,
than
गॉड
us.
इज अपॉर्चुनिटी हो सकती है, और क्या बोले वो?
They are serving better than they can please him
Yeah.
better than us.
They felt that even I cannot love Krishna like Putana. So now, how is it that they are thinking like that? So Acharyas tell that it is because of Yogamaya. It's not truth. So it's not true. Their vision, their expression is because of Yogamaya. It is not true. True is they are highest. So their vision, I am saying now, their vision is changed by Yogamaya. That's why he is glorifying Putana. Not because they see factually like that. No. The vision is affected by Yogamaya for some purpose. So it is not that, how can they affected by Maya, you know? How can they get affected? Brajvasis who are so dear to Lord get such bewildered by Putana? Because Lord will. So they are Uttama Bhaktas, but their vision is not improper in that sense that everyone is equal or something like that. So I have heard they have to see. Okay, Prabhu. So thank you for directly expressing. So we'll have break 12:44. अरे वही तो मैं एक्चुअली आप डायरेक्टली बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि मैं शुरुआत में वही बोला कि डायरेक्टली बोलो अच्छा है. सो थैंक यू. ठीक है, अभी खाए, उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑलरेडी कर दिया बता के. तो टाइम मैंने क्या बताया आपको, जब चाहिए तभी ना. तो आपको चाहिए, आपने एक्सप्रेस किया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. सो विल हैव ब्रेक नाउ टिल 1 o'clock. And then how many? We have some 3-timer devotees here. No? So 1 to 1:45. That's it. 45 minutes. We'll continue. Okay. Okay. So we'll. Okay. Fine. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Actually, examples, I will try, Prabhu, because that's what actually I am being, just as you are the students, I am the first teacher here. Somehow you are unfortunate for that. That is one thing you have to understand. Basically, you are saying that it's too theoretical discussion. Let us have some day-to-day examples like that. हाँ, ज़्यादा टेक्निकल फिलोसॉफिकल हो रहा है. अभी थोड़ा डे टू डे लाइफ में आते हैं, अपना डेली इधर जो सेवा है उसमें. हाँ.
लेकिन ये इतना बोले इसके लिए हमने डायरेक्ट बोल दिया कि मिस इंटरप्रिटेशन ना हो जाए, क्योंकि मेजॉरिटी है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है हमें, क्योंकि मेजॉरिटी के हिसाब से क्लास चलता है. तो ऐसा बहुत सारे
Guruji, Hare Krishna.
Something similar or
Yes,
something
similar.
different?
Yes, Guruji.
Similar,
See,
yes, yes.
already have everybody have this book, Prabhuji. So if we read para by para, like we did for all other books, so everybody will feel connection. Suppose, Prabhuji, you are giving this that, so we are not able to connect. ये किधर से आया? वो किधर
We
से
are
आया?
reading Prabhupada's also.
वो आ रहा है Prabhuji, okay, but attempt telling कि अगर para by para पढ़ के फिर अगर आप discussion दे वो सब quote करें, then it will be some more connection, more connectivity. Prabhuji.
अरे बाबा ठीक है. Please don't defend yourself. You are so wonderful. Why you are defending?
कौन किसकी चिंता मत करो, मैं देखता हूँ कौन बोलता है.
अरे मैं सुनने वाला तो ऐसा नहीं देख रहा हूँ. ठीक है.
I am feeling that this is being
Your desire is to read everything which is written by Prabhupada.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So I got your desire. And I got your desire to some extent, but I am not so capable of that. But I will try my best. That's the thing I can do, you know. Yes, yes, please hear now. I am speaking something. I got you. शांत हो. देखो आप डायरेक्ट बोल रहे हो. आई एम हैप्पी विद दैट. आई एम हैप्पी यू आर एक्सप्रेसिंग योर सेल्फ जेन्युइनली. सो बट वन थिंग आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट प्रभु to bring any practical things based on my qualification and capacity and realization. And I am not like how Revatipati Prabhu is. He's a very exalted person. I am who am I and trying, struggling hard every day. So whatever is there, I will try, Prabhu. Is it okay? This is one thing I want to say. One more thing I want to say is that currently we are discussing Sambandha Gyan. So Sambandha Gyan includes Abhideya and Prayojan Gyan. So when it comes to Abhideya challenges, that's what you want. Your aspiration is when you are doing Abhideya, what are the challenges, how we can deal with them. What I am trying to do based on what Rupa Goswami has written is, in first 5 chapters, he is giving us Prayojan Gyan to make us inspired and attracted to what is there. Abhideya is given in the 64 limbs. Okay? So this is information only of Prayojana to create attraction or inspiration or interest or some inclination in our heart for what is this diamond is. So it is actually, in truth, it is theoretical only. So when it comes to Abhideya, that time we can discuss that. Like NOI is a more of Abhideya. This is also Abhideya in terms of practice. Here Abhideya Gyan is also given from chapter number 6 onwards, where what is to be done. But now first 5 chapters are more or less it is establishing the glory of bhakti by telling 6 characteristics, by telling the different faiths, by telling that, like 4th chapter now for example, so many verses after verses. What is relevance? What are the aspirations of those who have achieved? ये टेड टॉक है, समझ रहे? टेड टॉक है ये. टेड टॉक में उसका अनुभव बोला जाता है, हमारे बारे में नहीं बोला जाता ज्यादा. Yes, yes. So these 2 things, so I will try, bro. Surely, I will try my best as much as possible. And if you have some example, you can share also. I can add in that example if you have. Prabhuji, if any one of you get some practical example, you can share. Then I can, if I have some understanding, I can comment on that. That much I can do that service. Is it okay? So please tolerate whatever is there. Try your best. So going to chapter 5. 4 only is visible here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, actually it's one of the very important chapters after understanding the 6 effects of bhakti, characteristics. This is another important thing is there in this particular chapter, the purity of devotional service. So the essence of this chapter is given by Prabhupada here in this line. Yeah, please read that. Next,
Next, Rupa Goswami states that the devotional service is transcendental to all material consideration. Prabhuji need to remove that.
Sorry.
And that is not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstance.
Yeah, so that's the point, that there is pure devotional service. Purity of devotional services, it doesn't depend on any material things, birth, varnashram, etc., country, class, society, all these things. That's the actually the essence of the chapter, the message of the chapter. Okay. So we'll begin that part. So before that, Prabhupada gives a very important comment based on what already has been explained by Rupa Goswami in first 3 lines. Very important. Please read that.
First 3 lines of the book or यहाँ से कहाँ से प्रभु जी?
The first 3 lines of the chapter. Book. All the previous instructions.
All the previous instruction imparted by Srila Rupa Goswami in his broad statements can be summarized thus: as long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service.
Yeah.
Next.
Yes. All previous instructions imparted till now in his broad statements can be summarized. Prabhupada is telling. He is giving summary that as long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging, coming back to the same point, then he cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. So it's a summary of the entire thing what he has spoken. So there is different material inclination means all this bhakti mukti spruha yavat and all, and that sukha aishwarya uttara and all this material inclined or desire of merging, so cannot enter into realm of pure devotional service. So Prabhupada is summarizing the entire thing what is being spoken now. Now going ahead, so Prabhupada gives as it is a summary study, Prabhupada is giving his experience of this principle of how pure devotional service is completely independent of material things. So his spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta has to face great challenges when he made Vaishnava Brahmanas. And he was even attacked actually many times. So Prabhupada is quoting all these things by, he was attacked by this Advaita Vamshi, Nityananda Vamsha, Goswami Vamsha. They are taking the authority based on hereditary or birth thing. Whereas Bhakti Siddhanta was completely refuting that idea. So that's what Prabhupada quotes the context of that time. So it's open for all without any distinction. See, I'm reading this and he's quoting Bhagavatam. It is open for all without any distinction and it is constitutional occupational of living entities. So this is the verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu which will come after Prabhupada's context. So Prabhupada gives this context here which I just now told. So there was Nityanand Vamsha people. But what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did, the powerful Acharya of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya completely smashed that idea. Actually, this idea is extremely deep rooted. Because is it the idea of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati only? Whose idea is this? Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He made Namacharya a Muslim born person. Ramanand Rai was having different background, right? So he also had this idea because that time culturally this was too much. He wanted to move them. This is all external. So same mode is taken by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and same mode is taken by Srila Prabhupada. And he has shown it to the entire world actually, that this is what it is. So that's what Prabhupada writes. Yeah, please read that. This so smash that idea. Yeah, this you can read.
There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully, and it is now correctly and practically established that devotional service is not restricted to a particular.
You can read from your book. Chapter 5, initial part. Sorry. Warning भी नहीं दिया. Your battery is running low. ऐसा नहीं होता. First paragraph, second paragraph ही है शायद. Nityananda Vamsha and all. Please read that whole thing. Here it will take some time for.
In the Middle Ages, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya's great associate Lord Nityananda, a class of priestly persons claimed to be the descendants of Nityananda, calling themselves Goswami caste. They further claimed that the practice and spreading of devotional service belonged only to their particular class, which was known as Nityananda Vamsha. In this way, they exercised their artificial power for some time, until Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the powerful Acharya of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, completely smashed their idea. There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully, and it is now correctly and practically established that devotional service is not restricted to a particular class of men. Besides that, anyone who is engaged in devotional service is already at the status of being a high-class Brahmana. So, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's struggle for this movement has come out successfully.
Continue. Same thing, yeah. Continue ahead also.
Success. It is on the basis of his position that anyone can now become a Gaudiya Vaishnava from any part of the world, or any part of the universe. Anyone who is a pure Vaishnava is situated transcendentally, and therefore the highest qualification in the material world, namely to be in the mode of goodness, has already been achieved by such a person. Our Krishna consciousness movement in the Western world is based on above mentioned proposition of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our spiritual master. On his authority, we are claiming members from all sections of Western countries. The so-called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into a Brahmana family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high-grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such a theory. Because it is not supported by Rupa Goswami, nor by the strength of various scriptures.
So Prabhupada is giving this cultural context in his summary, which shows his faith on his spiritual master, and he showed it to the entire world that anyone can become Vaishnava. Even Prabhupada had problems. When he came with Indians here, Prabhupada had problems. But Gauranga Prabhu says, no? Someone in Chennai asked him, your people are not so good in pronunciation and all. So people have, actually this pride which comes by birth is extremely deep. Extremely deep actually. I can personally understand that in one sense that Brahmanical pride or any pride is horrible. So, and that's how actually it creates a trouble. And in back of mind, person has that feeling that yeah, I am a this, I am a Kshatriya Vaishnava, I am whatever it is, background. So, but beyond all this, that's the whole point here. So we have to also understand and respect and see all the Vaishnavas properly. So that's the important point here, which was also mentioned in recent classes, what we are hearing, that bhakti has to be respected, not anything else of this world. When we respect bhakti, then we respect those who possess bhakti. They are devotees. So what has to be respected in our chitta, that's what Prabhuji was saying, is that the glorious position of bhakti. How glorious it is. How glorious is someone has began it. But because of lack of experience of it, we don't have that much respect for it. More person experiences, more his respect grows. More he can respect anyone, like even Ajamil chanting Narayan for his boy. But Vishnu Dutas are able to respect him. In spite of his background, they are able to respect. Why? Because what they are respecting? They are respecting the bhakti and they know the potency and power of bhakti. So actually it's a progressive march to understand and experience the power and potency of bhakti. So Sambandha Gyan is to understand its glory. Like many times we heard, recently Gurakesh was saying, actually हमको आम मिल गया है, हमको मिला है कुछ तो सबसे हाईएस्ट, लेकिन क्या है वो नहीं पता है, वो मिल गया है, जो स्वर्ग वाले इच्छा कर रहे हैं वो हमें मिल गया है ऑलरेडी, बट उसका ग्लोरी पता नहीं, इसलिए फिर कैसा भी लेते हैं उसको, like that. So these all scriptures are opening our eyes to know what is glory of this process which we have got. So our value system has to change. What we value is not birth. What we value is not externals. We value only devotion. And then we can respect everyone. Otherwise, it's not possible. That's the essential point which we can understand in our day-to-day life. When we are seeing, right? When a devotee is there, his desire is there, is so glorious. Vaishnava's desire. So let me try to fulfill that desire for his pleasure. So the more we understand glory of bhakti in our heart, and when I say bhakti means it is pure unalloyed devotion. And then it can be others also, mixed also. What is it? So anyone who is practicing it is also glorious, whatever may be the background. So that's the thing we have to understand through this chapter actually, that what we have got is extremely important. And what to speak of staying with someone, some people who have dedicated life for serving Krishna. This is the greatest fortune in the creation. Here we are having. Whatever it may be, whatever problem anyone is creating for us. But what he is doing? The whole world is advertising something and this person has given up that for serving his spiritual master or Krishna. How glorious is this person? Everyone from, PDC to GBC, everyone. How glorious is that? How rare is that? Because we are getting so easily, we are seeing so many these programs of, no, someone is joining, coming into yellow, yellow to white, white to saffron, saffron to danda, whatever it is. So many things we are seeing so many times, so it appears that okay, ये हर साल होता है. Actually बहुत rare है ये चीज, बहुत rare है. तो वो देखना बहुत जरूरी है. Then we can respect. And respect and offense cannot stay together in heart. Because respect means no offense or no envy. Because offense means envy. Respect means no envy. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that till the time Antakarana is not pure, this respect will be there. So, we have to purify our heart to fully respect. There is no other methodology. It's not a seminar of how to respect people, or externally you do like this. Okay, that's good. External bowing down, it's fine. We have to do it. But what it means to actually respect is the person. Like even I think Kamal Lochan Prabhu said in our Bhakti Vaibhav class, our means I was attending for the batch. He said actually when person offends another Vaishnava, he is not offending just person. He is offending the philosophy what he is practicing. He is offending Bhakti Devi actually. It's not individual. He is practicing bhakti. So he is offending what he is living for. So there is a difference. So it's complete offense to all Vaishnavas in one sense, in a technical term, because Bhakti Devi. Because generally not this terminology Naam Aparad. For example, Naam Aparad means when I am chanting, I am doing Naam Aparad. No. Naam Aparad is written there, but if you read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says Naam Aparad means Bhakti Aparad. Bhakti Devi is offended. Because which offense you commit during chanting among 10? 11th one is 10 to do. The 10 are not generally done during chanting, isn't it? They are done all the other 22 hours only. You go through the offenses. So it is offense to Bhakti Devi. So all the offenses, all disrespect, it is all because of the appreciation and faith which we have on what process of bhakti we have got. The more one develops it, more one can genuinely respect. And the same thing His Grace Anand Gop Prabhu was saying, right? That you can respect when your bhakti will grow. That's the simple answer he gave. That's the only thing. It's not about getting higher post, lower post, then I can respect. No. We can see Rome Arshant Sut could not do that. He was expert. Rome Arshant Sutta could not do that. So respect is something very deep thing. And it can be properly understood when we are going through the books which are given by Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada could do that. He could respect, he could chastise with respect, with affection. Right? And he could bring in people even after doing lot of issues, because he was respecting that bhakti element. He could give sannyas to people who have fallen from sannyas again, because he is doing something nice for Krishna. And with humble heart he is saying, Mahaprabhu has to reject, I cannot reject, I need all of you. He is respecting bhakti. So respect for bhakti is very essential. That's what is this. There is nothing external to be there actually about bhakti. If one is understanding it, then one can try to respect, and then the offenses will reduce. And offenses is the only thing which is impediment for bhakti. There is no other impediment. There is no other impediment for anything other than that. So that's why Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta, they just very emphatically opened our eyes by making the leaders to be having different backgrounds. Right? And Prabhupada did the same. brought the Western people here. And Prabhupada writes at many places that we should not see this is a American Vaishnava, this is Brahman Vaishnava, this is another country Vaishnava. No, we should see as a Vaishnava. So it's a internal thing which needs cultivation, and it's not so easy. But one sense it is easy. Now sometimes some foreigner devotees are coming here and giving their association to us, so we can appreciate more, right? Like some devotees have come from West, here we get sometimes their association. So our vision is exercised there, that how we see them, how we respect them. How amazing it is, someone in New York has decided to give life for Krishna. How amazing it is. What he has seen, what he has experienced before, but now he is joyful in association of devotees. Very special it is. Yeah, I think this you read, this part you read, bro. But we do not accept such theory. This is already read, na? So birthright को क्या बोलते हैं? हमारा जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार है. मराठी में वो बोलते थे कौन? टिळक ना. स्वराज्य हा माझा जन्म सिद्ध हक्क आहे आणि तो मी मिळवणारच. तसं भक्ती आहे. भक्ती माझा जन्म सिद्ध हक्क आहे आणि तो मी मिळवणारच. Like that. So he quotes this verse. So Prabhupada is translating. So as Prabhuji has said, so we can read this. Yeah, please read this.
He has given many evidences from many scriptures. Prabhuji वो निकाल लीजिए. And he has especially quoted one passage from Padma Puran, wherein the sage Vasishtha tells King Dilipa, "My dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service, just as he has the right to take early bath in the month of Magh."
Yeah. So here he is quoting, Rupa Goswami is saying this principle, but he is quoting Shastra. That this is showed in Padma Purana actually. So Shastratah Shruyate Bhaktau Nru Matrasya Adhikarita. So Nru Matrasya Adhikarita means what? For Bhakti only adhikaris you should be Nru. Nru is what? Human being, that's all. And Rupa Goswami is saying, I am saying that no. Shastrastah Shrutaye. I am talking from Shastra. Sarvadhikaram Magasnanasya Bruvataha Yata. Just as anyone can go and take bath in Ganges in month of Magh. So anyone has taken that bath? Anyone? In month of Magh? So what is any experience there? Yeah? ठंडा है ना बहुत, करेक्ट? तो क्या क्वालिफिकेशन चाहिए बाथ लेने के लिए फिर? हाँ, जिसने अनुभव किया है वो बता सकता क्या है, क्या क्वालिफिकेशन चाहिए अंदर जाने के लिए? एक तो वो तो माघ का मास तो बिल्ली भी ले सकता है, वो भक्ति भी बिल्ली कर सकता है एक्चुअली, वन सेंस. बट आई एम सेइंग व्हाट इज द थिंग विच यू हैव टू डू व्हाइल टेकिंग माघ बाथ? ठंडा लगता है ना, हाँ, तो फिर टॉलरेट कब करेंगे? जब श्रद्धा होगा कुछ तो, कि ये बात लेने से कुछ महाप्रभु ने लिया था, सब आचार्यों ने लिया था, मैं तो आचार्य नहीं हूं लेकिन उन्होंने बोला है इसलिए मैं भी लेता हूं, थोड़ा तपस्या हो जाएगा, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. देन यू स्टार्ट टॉलरेटिंग. फर्स्ट यू हैव फेथ, राइट? सिमिलरली टू प्रैक्टिस प्योर डिवोशन you need pure faith. Just as to enter Magh bath, it's a tapasya, it's difficult, but faith is one by which one takes bath. Similarly, to practice pure devotional service, Nru Matra is adhikar, but that is not the only adhikar. Nru should have pure faith, then only he can take bath, then only he can practice pure devotion. So that is told by Acharyas in the commentary of this verse. That Nrumatrasya Adhikarita means not that everyone, even without faith, can start practicing pure devotional service. It's not possible. Faith has to be there. And faith will come from ati bhagyena, the connection with a pure devotee who is carrying pure faith in his heart. Just as Prabhupada went, he could give that faith. So that is the thing. It's not just qualification in one sense. There is a background. So Jiva Goswami explains this, that pure faith has to be the qualification along with being a human. Because that's what the whole talk previously, right? The whole talk was about faith. Now he is telling only how it is. Has to be there. So he quotes his Padma Puran verse, Sarve adhikarino hi yatra hari bhaktau yatha nripa. So this Vasishtha Muni is telling. So this translation is given here. And second also. So, yes, Prabhu. Maybe Prabhuji can read. Give him the mic. There is more evidence.
There is more evidence in the Skanda Purana, in the Kashikhanda portion, where it is said, in a country known as Mayuradhwaja, the lower caste people who are considered less than Shudras are also initiated in the Vaishnava cult of devotional service. And when they are properly dressed with tilaka on their bodies and beads in their hands and on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha. In fact, they look so beautiful that immediately they surpass the ordinary Brahmana.
So this is the Kashi Khandi. Gives two examples. Then Prabhupada quotes this verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is not there in the original NOD, nor any Acharya is quoting. Prabhupada is adding that verse. So very famous verse which we know, that just as bell metal and mercury mixed, then you can create a gold. Right? But what is the process of that? Anyone has heard? The process. Create that.
To convert mercury into gold?
Mercury and Kamsa, you mix and you get a gold.
One has to drink mercury and something like that.
Man, I will give you everything. You tell me how to do it. Huh?
But
yeah, you have not heard. I heard faintly somewhere. I think Supad Mahaprabhu, someone was sharing. He heard from one class of.
I also heard that somewhere that one has to drink mercury.
Yes.
And then urinate on the bell metal, but the person dies after urinating, and someone else get the gold.
Yeah, same thing I heard. Only thing I didn't hear that part of dying. I heard that someone who can digest mercury and pass urine on Kamsa, then he can get gold. But the dying part is additional for me, from you what I heard. So this is the process.
So I heard somewhere dying that the person dies, someone else get the gold part.
I want to hear that. You remember where it is?
I don't remember, Guruji.
It's very important analogy. When analogies are given by Acharya, they are very deep actually. So someone who can digest the karma of like hippies, he can do that. You understand what I'm saying? Like Prabhupada. Prabhupada could initiate them because he had the power of his bhakti to digest that. So that's why he is quoting this verse. Yatha kanchanatvam yati kamsyam rasa vidhanataha tatha diksha vidhanena dvijatvam jayate nranam. Yeah, please read that second paragraph. Yes, bro. Continue. Thus a Vaishnava.
That any person who is properly initiated into the Vaishnava cult certainly becomes a Brahmin. As much as a metal known as Kamsa, bell metal is turned into gold by the mixture of mercury. A bona fide spiritual master under the guidance of authorities can turn anyone to the Vaishnava cult, so that naturally he may come to the topmost position of Brahman.
Yeah, so this analogy, when I heard that, I was shocked actually. This analogy is very deep, that mercury has to be digested by, mercury is poisonous, one dies by that. Yeah, but he can digest it and urinate it, then so it's not a, it's a very serious thing if someone is becoming a spiritual master. A very serious level of bhakti which is there in his heart. It is not just about a post or something. He has that bhakti in his heart, then only he can do it. So basically, so now going further, Jiva Goswami raises a doubt, as I told. Yeah, please read that. This is not Prabhupada purport, I have added. So it's green. Yeah.
Jiva Goswami Ling. As previously said, it should be concluded that those who possess faith and are devoid of desires for material enjoyment and liberation are qualified for pure bhakti.
Like earlier, these things were said. Yeah.
This is certainly true for 3 upper castes. But what about others?
So Rup Goswami answers this doubt by that only every human has this adhikar. If he gets these 2 things, who possesses pure faith and is qualified for pure bhakti, it is not that only 3 upper castes are qualified for this, but everyone. So that's how Jiva Goswami comments in his commentary. Okay, that Rup Goswami is answering that everyone is qualified. And as long as he is human and he is trying to possess pure faith, as soon as he possesses pure faith, he is qualified for pure devotion. Now, Rup Goswami warns. Prabhupada uses this term. Maybe you can read that only first. Yeah, first you read what Prabhupada says. Carefully takhiye. Rup Goswami warns.
Sri Rupa Goswami warns, however, that if a person is properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that simply by the acceptance of such initiation, his business is then finished. One still has to follow the rules and regulations very carefully.
Continue, that one more line you can read.
If after accepting the spiritual master and being initiated, one does not follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, then he is again fallen.
Yeah. So, warning. So, Prabhupada is, so what is that warning? Very important. Because that warning is coming from this. Now you read what Jiva Goswami is saying. Jiva Goswami says that there can be doubt for a person. There can be doubt in your mind after hearing, every human is qualified. What is the doubt? Please read.
G. Goswami Link, doubt. All are qualified, but they should follow their prescribed duties, so dharma. If not followed, they become sinful. Then how can they be purified? Do they need atonements?
Yeah, do you got this question? I will just elaborate it.
Parishit Nayak.
The question which is raised by Jiva Goswami and answered by Rup Goswami by warning, the question is this, that you said that all are qualified. Fine. But when they get pure faith, start practicing pure devotion, they have to give up their prescribed duties, their swadharma in case of varnashrama. So Shastra says that not doing one's duty is sinful. Then how such sinful people can be purified? Do they need atonements for that while practicing bhakti? This is the question. Does this question making sense? Okay. So this is answered in this verse. This doubt is answered in this verse of Rupa Goswami, 63 and 64. Both, there are 2 doubts. How they can get purified? Second is atonement needed? They will get purified by practicing angas of bhakti. And it is no problem if they don't do their swadharma, no problem. But if they don't do bhakti, that is a problem. And atonements, no need of any atonements. Bhakti in itself is atonement. Just continue doing bhakti. So we'll go to understanding what I just now said. Very important. Ana anusthano dosho bhakti angam prajayate. Means when one does not do bhakti angas, important bhakti angas given by the Rupa Goswami, not doing that is a fault. Na karmanam akaranat esha bhakti adhikarinam. Means na कर्मणाम अनाकरणात means if they don't do their swadharma, their prescribed duty छोड़ के आ गए तो कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं, वो दोष नहीं है. दोष क्या है? वो प्रिस्क्राइब ड्यूटी छोड़ के आ गया लेकिन भक्ति का अंग नहीं कर रहा है, वो दोष है. अगर वो भक्ति का अधिकारी है, भक्तिया अधिकारिणाम, फॉर हिम दोष इज व्हाट? नॉट डूइंग भक्ति अंगास. Not doing swadharma is not dosh. Does that make sense? In the sense of what Prabhupada's program is given, if someone is not doing that, it's a fault. Morning program, for example, or evening program, whatever Prabhupada has created, system. That has to be followed. Acharya has given this. It has to be done. It's not about grihastha or brahmachari at all. Prabhupada has told this is for everyone. So this has to be done, otherwise it is fault. So what about atonement? That is the next verse. So that's why Prabhupada wrote that, no? Simply by initiation, that's why Prabhupada said, they were not my disciples. They were initiated, but they were not my disciples. Something like that Prabhupada quoted. Following has to be there. It's not about the event of initiation. It is about process of surrender. Initiation is a process. Initiation is not an event. Initiation process has one event of initiation where mala and name is given. But it's a process of surrender. So one does that. One practices bhakti angas under instruction of Guru. If it is affected, it's a dosha. And do they need atonements? No. Nash nishiddhacharo daivad prayaschittam no chittam. Even if they do nishiddhachar. Now forget about not doing duty. Even if they do nishiddhachar. Nishiddhachar is like doing sinful activity. They don't have to do any prayaschitta. Na uchitam. Iti Vaishnava Shastranam rahasyam tad vidam matam. So the vidam means like read what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says the same thing actually. Yeah, read this. Yes, anyone? Yellow thing, whole thing.
Srila Rupa Goswami also says that if one is regularly discharging devotional service, there will be no question of a fall down. But even if circumstantially there is some fall down, the Vaishnava need have nothing to do with the Prayaschitta, the ritualistic ceremony for purification. If someone falls down from the principle of devotional service, he need not to take the Prayaschitta performances for reformation. He simply has to execute the rules and regulation for discharging devotional service. And this is sufficient for his reinstatement. This is the mystery of the Vaishnava devotional cult.
Yeah. So this has to be very clearly understood that it is not that qualification is not just I am human or having pure faith. The practice has to be done, which is recommended, which is administered. Then only. Otherwise it is a dosha. So otherwise Prabhupada saying above. In other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to position of high class Brahmana. One also has to discharge the duties and follow the regulative principles very rigidly. So very clear. So Prabhupada also writes that in Bhagavad Gita, no? Success is sure for rigid practitioner. So that is very important. So which angas which are given by Rupa Goswami, and that happen in morning program actually. Most of the angas happen there. So it's extremely important to do them with full heart. What to speak of the 5 essential aspects, 5 potent forms, which we'll discuss eventually. So now it's already 1:48. Before going to next verse, we will just complete this verse at least. So now just 2, 3, 4 minutes, because I think some of you have to take prasada. So Daivad word is there, right? So what does that mean? Nishiddhacharo Daivat. By accidental, by providence, if one commits sinful activity, it doesn't need any atonement. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells how can a person do that? Because what Jiva Goswami says is someone who has pure faith and is practicing all angas, he can never desire for any sinful activities. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. There will be no question of fall down. That is directly what Jiva Goswami says. There is no question, because that kind of aspiration cannot come only in a person who is having these two things. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells what is Daivat. It is because of his previous offense. Yeah, please read that. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Chakravarti Thakur clarifies meaning of Devad. If they commit forbidden act because of influence of previous Vaishnava aparadh, atonement is not needed.
Yeah, so such person will enter into doing some sinful activity because of result of aparadh. So that is how dangerous aparadh is. The only thing to be avoided is that. Otherwise, one does that. So such clear Siddhanta is being spoken here. So, and that's why actually accident, that day I was asking, Tulsi Prabhu gave a brilliant class on the same theme actually. So accidental and premeditated. Actually all are accidents in one sense. That's what I could never digest what is premeditated. Because who falls down also meditates plans, It's not that it happens. Crack happens, you cannot see the crack. But when bridge breaks, everyone sees. And bridge breaking is accident. But before that, there is lot of thought about that. So it cannot be said accident in one sense. Technically, I am saying. Of course, Prabhupada uses this terminology. That's why I asked him that how to differentiate between the two. So in essence, there is not accidental in one sense actually. For in Bhakti, what? Entire lifespan, everything is accident only. As long as one has taken up to Bhakti, everything is like accidental. Even Ajamil planned, right? He saw, he contemplated, he planned. So it is not actually, it appears to be like he thought about it, that I will throw these people. It is not just accident. Accident was he happened to see. Crack was an accident. Crack in the bridge is accident, not the breaking of the bridge. In between, so many things happen. So what Shastras will help us is, when cracks happens, we can work there. जब क्रैक होता है चेतना में, कार्य में, विचार में और शब्दों में, जब क्रैक होता है तभी जान लो ये प्रॉब्लम है. अगर सोचेंगे कि ये चलता है, if we think that this is okay, then crack will grow. That's why it's important to properly, because actions happen because of, action just cannot happen. It has to have background. Thoughts, words, actions. Thinking, feeling, willing, acting. So Shastras will help us to stop before acting. This is something practical in day-to-day our life. When we are reading the scriptures, at least I am doing so much of cracks to so many people. Actually, I have done before. And being honest with all of you. Because I was not convinced this is a crack. So crack happened, crack grew and it broke also. Then I was woken up that this crack is not proper. Such kind of speech is not proper. So we have to understand through the scriptures which are telling us. So when we are discussing this, there its day-to-day application is this only, that see the cracks. So Shastras and especially Bhagavatam is going to tell us that only. But see those who had cracks, what happened, from where they fell, and they tell all over the world, not some ISKCON temple or, all case studies are there, That's why His Grace Gaurangpur said, when I was there in Vidyapit, he said, I want that every brahmachari who is joining should read the Bhagavatam before he enters into the arena of service. Because after entering, he may get time or not. But he should know that all the problem solution is there in Bhagavatam, in purports of Srila Prabhupada. All the problem solution is there. All problems are there, solutions are there. But he doesn't spend time for that only after he entered. That's why he wanted that, and it did that for few years. and now it is not there. But this is what I heard directly from him, that I was there. So it's very important for us to see the cracks, otherwise, and so cracks of offenses will create many cracks in accidents in future. So let us know the cracks, or let us see the cracks which are externally created or internally happening, and try to put something there, by doing some proper actions. So let us stop here today. Next verse is extremely important, which is speaking about adhikar.
Only one question is there.
Yes, Prabhu. So those who have to take prasadam, they can happily leave, no problem. But those who want to proceed, they can proceed because it's already late. But maybe if someone has some question like Prabhuji, they can wait.
Yeah, Prabhuji, in the last stanza,
He wants to do announcement.
Hare Krishna. So I just want to ask also. So tomorrow also we need to have class, as already told. So can we start at same time, 11 o'clock, and the same 1:45? You're available?
Tomorrow, if you want, we can start little early.
10:30.
Because today was that my parents and all were coming, so I don't know. I was there only till 11, almost like 11. I was there only.
Yeah.
So today we can start early, no problem. Means tomorrow we can start, if you want, all of you want, we can start little early also.
10:30 to 1:30, 3 hours will get, then 15 minutes break and lunch can be there. So our devotee is okay, 10:30 tomorrow.
Haribol, here. Yeah, so 11 is better, you are saying.
Okay. Okay, then 11 o'clock we'll start, and like this only.
Yeah,
Like
so
today.
three, yeah. So 3 timers, I'm sorry. Those who have to go a little late. But today there will be something special for you there. So you will be happy after going there. नहीं मैं भी आप नहीं एक भी है तो क्या वैष्णव, यू आर वैष्णव. I should not displease you.